Hey, yo, salute to the people. It's the Social Forecast. Today is Monday, April 29th, 2019. I hope you all do something today to further your goals and to help you realize your dreams. All right, let's get into it. So, Watertown, New York. This is a story out of Watertown, New York. It's actually a child rape case. School bus driver pled guilty to raping a 14-year-old girl and gets no prison time. I'm going to actually take a little bit of a different twist for this blog, so just kind of bear with me a little bit. So the Watertown Daily Times reports, according to the Watertown Daily Times, Jefferson County Judge James P. McCluskey sentences Shane Pick, I don't know how to pronounce this slimeball's name, but it is what it is, 26 years old, to 10 years of probation last week. The decision came 2 months after Piché pleaded guilty to third-degree rape in the June 2018 incident. Authorities said he was driving for the Watertown City School District when he met a 14-year-old girl whom he raped at his home. All right. So, to pretend that I know where to start would be just wrong. I have no clue where to start with this one. I guess the first place I can start is by saying that rape, and it is what it is. I think the only thing worse than rape is raping a child. What I find to be interesting is some of the reasons that this county judge cited for why the sentence was not as harsh as, one, it could have been, and two, as it was allowable by law, and three, why the sentencing for this crime wasn't as harsh as prosecutors were seeking. I mean, this person pled guilty. It's not like they went to trial and they were found innocent. This person pled guilty, admitted that they did this crime, and they just were given ridiculous leniency for what a crime like this could potentially no prison time. And to further that, so I'm going to read what the entirety of this judge's decision. So the judge also deemed Piché a level 1 sex offender, which is less severe than the level 2 designation that prosecutors had sought. The Daily Times reported the low-risk level 1 sex offenders must register for 20 years unless they have a designation of sexual predator, sexually violent offender, or predicate sex offender, in which case they must register for life. So you rape a 14-year-old minor. Why? What could possibly be the reason in the judge's mind for why you should register as a level 1 sex offender, where in 20 years, essentially you will be removed from that registry, provided that you don't commit any other crimes or get into any other kinds of trouble related to the nature of that crime, versus a designation of sex offender where you'd be on that registration for life? Explain to me what potentially the reason was for this judge deciding that that was the case, when we all know that all right, let's just cut through all the bullshit. Those of us who are more informed and who are more woke, know that there are two criminal justice systems. There's a criminal justice system for a certain demographic of people, and then there is a criminal justice system for a different demographic of people. There is a criminal justice system for people who come from certain cities across America, from certain resources, and then there's a criminal justice system for people who come from rural America or middle America and who have a different set of resources and or circumstances. And to be honest, sometimes, I know people like to make this correlation, sometimes the case, but sometimes it's not even about financial resources. Sometimes it is literally strictly about what you look like. And that should not be a catalyst for any judge sitting on any bench in any courtroom, be it a county court, be it a superior court, be it a Supreme Court. I don't care what the court is. There should not be a judge sitting on a bench whose sole responsibility in their role is to be impartial in everything. It should not be a factor what you look like, where you come from, where that judge is determining what the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years of your life is going to look like, as far as whether you're going to spend that time in prison, on probation, you know, whatever programs, whatever forms of quote unquote rehabilitation. That should, a mitigating or aggravating circumstance should not be where you come from, what you look like, and under what circumstances you were born in. Like, mitigating and aggravating circumstances are a part of the criminal justice system as it relates to what motivates a crime. This is where we get things like hate crimes from. Whether you commit a crime against someone because of their gender, or because of their sexual orientation, or because of their nationality. These are things that are considered to be aggravating when determining whether something should be charged as a hate crime. And then you have things like murder, where different types of murder where there may be mitigating circumstances where someone may say, well, it was self-defense. Now that may change the nature of the crime that will benefit that offender. Aggravating circumstance should not be you're black. Should not be you're from Yonkers, New York, as opposed to Watertown, New York, upstate somewhere. It should not have anything to do with it, but we all know. Those of us who are informed know that there are two different criminal justice systems. Here's my twist, because it's not just about this individual. The crime of rape is the crime of rape. It doesn't matter if you're black, if you're white. It doesn't matter if you come from a suburb. It doesn't matter if you come from inner city. Rape is rape. Rape against a child is rape against a child. These crimes are not made more or less heinous because you look a certain way or come from a different type of a place, from a different background. I know that's the picture they paint in movies. It's the big scary black guy, or it's the big scary Hispanic guy with the beard and the whole crazy looking thing and the tattoos. It's not about any of that. Rape is rape. It's about a mindset and a mind state. It's about a certain mentality, and it is what it is. Crime that should be punishable by whatever the law is as it pertains to that crime, not based on how fair-skinned someone is, or how dark someone is, or what city someone comes from or grew up in. Should have nothing to do with it. But here is my twist, though. How can we expect the criminal justice system to be fair and equal across the board when we are more harsh on our own than the system is even harsh against us? With this current cancel culture that we have, we're so willing and ready and able to get anybody out here in our community, just cancel them altogether, just throw away the key, lock them away, throw away the key, forget all about them. We don't care what they did. We don't care what their contributions to society were. We don't care what good they may have done in the community. If they committed a crime like this, it should all be stripped away, throw them away, and that's it. And I'm not arguing that shouldn't be the case. What I'm saying is, why are we treating our own that way when clearly they're not treating their own that way? Their own gets second chances. Their own gets a chance to have a life, even if it is 10, 15, 20 years from now. Their own gets a chance to redeem themselves. But we just want to lock everyone away and throw away the key when it comes to how we look at our own. Why? Sexual offense is not more or less deplorable if it's, I don't know, an R. Kelly versus if it's this bus driver. It is what it is, right? It's about the victim. It's about the minor. It's about the child, right? It's about the woman. It's about the kid who's being raped. It's not about the person who's committing the crime. They should be punished across the board to the same extent, regardless of who they are. It's about the victim. But the system doesn't treat it that way. This is not much different than the story a few years back of the college student who raped a girl and got no jail time, got probation. But we all know that if that's a black or brown person, or person from a different set of circumstances, more often than not, almost virtually 10 times out of 10, the book is thrown at those individuals. Whereas people from a different demographic are shown more leniency. I'm not saying that the system needs to be changed, because we all know that it does, and it's not going to be. That's never going to happen. I'm saying that we as a people, as a culture, as a community, we should maybe start looking at our own a little bit differently, because they look at their own a little bit differently. They give their own chances to be redeemable and to redeem themselves, while we don't. And maybe that's what needs to change. I don't pretend to know everything. I just know what I know. It's the Social Forecast. Peace and love.